Okay, I think I'm live. Um, Hi, people. Tonight I'm going to be working on some stuff related to the mod that I've been plugging away at. Um, the big thing that I've been doing a bunch of is I've been working on the concept of advanced combat, and so that's the idea of combat where instead of, because in Cataclysm it's like kind of kiting based, and then otherwise you just like hit tab on things so they die. And so I wanted to kind of have a more involved option instead of that, and so it's the concept of this advanced combat. And I think in the idea I talk about melee, and so trying to focus on a small number of melee weapons. On attack, you get to select techniques, and there'll be a large collection of techniques available. And so techniques will be very selective. So it'll all be based on like a tag system. So what effects you have will affect what you can do and what your opponent can do to you. Some example tags here, which I've started to flesh out in another page, and an example here, so that you could just like curb stomp, just execute an enemy that's been downed, crushing it, potentially. Yeah, and so the I'm like kind of started on a page for that, and also the um the code for this kind of works. So I'll showcase that really quick. Um, I don't have any of the actual moves in and stuff, but a lot of the infrastructure's in, and so I'm currently at the challenging portion of this, which is to actually implement it. Now that there's been some progress had. So let's see about. Oh, that's weird. Um, Let me just. That'll be the first thing I fix, but let me just for now. Edit player effects. Oh, can I not remove an effect? Alright, well, this character may need to actually be reset then. That's okay. Make a new character with the mod stuff enabled. Mm-hmm. I will step outside, and so I spawn myself I've got it called the battle knife right now. And it's got some extra moves. None of them actually do anything. I just wanted to test that this would kind of work in general. And I wield the battle knife. I'm gonna spawn myself in a zombie of some kind. We'll do a basic zombie. So when I actually go to attack, I get these options. And so if I disengage, I get to escape. But if I am in melee and do not disengage, then I should not be able to move. But I can attack as normal. And all of these do the same thing, but that is a thing. And so the first thing I want to do here is fix the fact that uh, some of this isn't working. So let's just call this combat. And so this is all of the EOC code required to do that, which is kind of neat. Based on an avatar attack event, I upgrade the position of the person that I want to hit to be the beta talker in the conversation. And then I run EOC MA select, which is this one up here. So on a condition of the fact that they're alive, we do wow, words. We check for a number of valid techniques, 3 specifically, but with a blacklist for the techniques we've already selected. And then we run a selector with all of the details for plus disengage as an option. And then all of those just run the EOC attack effect on condition, which is down here. And it just does a... it sets you as in combat, make sure you're in combat, and then actually does the attack with that technique. And the technique is stored in the variables, and otherwise here it's just the descriptions and the button presses and all that stuff. Yeah, and so I'm going to, for now, this isn't what it's going to be at the end, but just to keep things from breaking. I'm gonna add a false effect here. So if the person is not alive, so if you killed them, then there should be the option to if you've killed them, there should be the option to I need to remove this effect. Sure, something like that, and that'll mean that the issue that I had before won't happen, where I get stuck. That's okay, and so that's just for testing. And so right now, I've got just like this battle knife with some junk on it, and so I'm gonna start actually with unarmed. And so I'm gonna work on, because like the combination, you're gonna have a combination of a bunch of martial arts abilities, and also standard weapon attacks, and you're going to select from any of them basically at any one point. And so I've already kind of worked on some of the stuff that I want basically for the menu, and then also some stats that'll determine how successful you are at some of these moves, and then some states and how those states affect you. And so the states that affect your stats are if you're moving, if you're being evasive, if you're readied, if you're downed, if you're stumbling, if you're panicked, if you're blocking, or if you're grappling. And there's also some special states. And so I'm going to track if you're in combat at all. It's going to be critical. If you're comboing, so if you just hit an attack that would let you lead into another attack. If you're outnumbered, enemies will have special attacks. They're outnumbering you. If an enemy is close to you, if an enemy is far from you, if your offhand is occupied. So I am going to have basically a multi-wield system built in, so that, or I'm going to try, so that if you were in the middle of fighting an enemy, let's say, and it tried to charge you, and you did like a judo toss and flipped it behind you so that it landed on the ground, or like was staggered or hit a wall, let's say. Instead of just going back in and stabbing it with your knife or your sword or whatever, you could flow from from that charge redirect into the stun, and then just with weapons still in hand, not having to remove it. One of your martial art abilities that you'll have access to would be, say, to quick draw your sidearm and shoot it to try and execute it, with like, say, like a 3-round burst or something close quarters. And so in that case, you'll get that offhand occupied flag or state for a couple of seconds while you would like be trying to find time to put away your gun so that you've got full range of motion again. Weapon stuck, which is just, if you somehow get your weapon stuck in an enemy or in a wall or something, maybe you're going to simulate that. And then I'm going to track movement direction. So you'll be able to track if you're traveling towards an enemy for stuff like charges, away from an enemy for stuff like dodges, and then perpendicular to get out of the way of things. Like there's potential for attacks that would miss you if you're moving perpendicular to it. And then I started kind of building up some of this generic martial art. And so what I am going to need to do is I'm going to start just trying to fill in some of this. I want to see how just even what I have here feels. And so I'm going to need to code some of these effects. I'm going to need to code some of these attacks. And so I'm just going to try. So I'm going to start with just grabbing Brawler. I think that's what it's called. Oh, okay. Is it not called Brawler? Called Bruiser? Looking for martial arts. Here's if I can overload just the no martial art. That's a bad idea, actually, because then I'll get weird test issues. So let's leave this up. Put this out a bit, and then I'm gonna go actually create a martial arts JSON. Oops. Stuff. I'm gonna format that because I hate it when it's not formatted. Okay. Call it. For now, we'll call it advanced combat. Do a description later. It's stupid, but I find that funny, so I'm gonna put that in. So battle. Allow all weapons true, and then so all this like static buffs type stuff I don't want to do. I want it all to be like an active opt-in. I don't want like any of it basically to be handled for you. And so we'll just want to grab. Oh, I should put it inside. Okay, and I don't really want any of these. So let's just start on the technique EOCs, but I want to actually define the techniques. Red two. That goes in there. And then we'll do unarmed touches. And all the unarmed techniques will go in here. And I'm going to actually get some techniques because I want to steal one. That's annoying. It's not how I want that formatted, but let's do this for now. I want conditions. And then no requirements for now. I'll probably add some later. The hope would be actually that certain of these moves will like replace worse ones as you gain skill as well. So like a simple jab. Oh yeah, VSC is like pretty sharp. I like the layout and stuff of it. I don't honestly have it super well set up for um for JSON, but I really like it at work for web dev. I think it's overall pretty powerful. So what did I have this set as? But I think that's already the case. So I'll ditch this for now. Sure. And so that's actually just fine for the jab. I'll put it in the text. So it's just spacing. Oh, my dog's freaking out. Oh, I think someone might be here. I have to be right back. Okay, I am back. Um, yeah. Sorry, my partner arrived much earlier than was expected. Just say okay. Just curious what was up. So one thing I did forget about Jab is Jab's supposed to give the uh is supposed to give the close tag. So I need to add that. Hmm. Yeah, I'll generify these. That makes the most sense. And I want the enemies because it should all be kind of in relation to them, with like close and far. So I don't think I need a message for it. So or no. One NPC add effect, and hopefully I can add effects to monsters. I'll have to check that really quick here in a sec. So otherwise I'm gonna have to fix that. This is for now. So now I need that effect. I think I've got an effects page. Yeah. Status. Flags. And how long does this last? If not otherwise modified. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, so that would give someone the close tag. And so I'm curious if that does work on monsters. So I think this just works. Okay, well, I'm gonna try this just to see if I can apply tags to monsters. Or effects, rather. One monster, just a standard zombie. I'm gonna drop this knife. So that, and shoot, I also have to give myself all the melee. Uh, uh okay. I don't know. I don't really understand why it's friendly now. That's that's wild. Um uh uh okay, well, uh I can't do any more progress until I figure that out. So, uh it would be, let's go to Monster Talker, see if there's something that immediately comes out to me as obviously the reason that happens. Okay. Um, what does this? Did it just do one at random? Why? Alright. Well, I mean, I'm gonna just try and breakpoint this, I guess, because I do not understand what just happened. So ridiculous. Uh, something else weird in this, right? No, just spawn myself another monster. Still zombie. Regular old average Joe zombie. Good job. I'm gonna have to hit him. Okay, so it's turning him friendly. Why? Hey, how's it going, John? I don't know if you saw the start of this, but I'm trying to add effects to monsters. And doing so is setting them as friendly. And I do not understand why that's happening. I'm gonna make sure I'm not doing something really weird. Oh! I didn't delete any of this stuff. I didn't add anything. Of course. Well, yeah, I should probably do the right thing. Alright, I'm glad I sorted that out pretty fast. Because this would have been silly if I had kept debugging that for no reason. I just want the close COC, which I just wrote. Now I can test again. Yeah, so this is all for the Fissure Corp mod. So I'm basically like I'm gonna set up like a big martial art, like core martial art, plus a couple of like weapons that all have a selection of like techniques that you can select, and all the techniques are going to be um conditional on effects. And so like here I've got the list here, and so like for example, if you're if like the opponent is like far from you, or like you're moving, or if you're like kind of in the middle of a combo or something, different maneuvers are going to kind of unlock, which you can then select to further maneuver the state of the current combat. So let me just kill this guy. And does he have an effect? No. He does not appear to have an effect. Oh, no, he is close. Sort of. Okay, so effects work. And so I can now just keep working on my stuff. And so what I want is, so check unarmed spacing. Unarmed reload true. Bust. And then we want this to be zero. So we don't want this to actually be damaging. I need to later just set like a don't actually deal damage rule for these, but for now, we'll just scale everything to 0. And then there's going to be a condition on this one. Or how do conditions work? Oh god, Venera writes huge conditions for these. This is better. Condition. Just want oh, okay, so nothing complicated at all, it's just close. So if they're close, and what it is going to do is it is going to actually set the character as readied and so the player will become readied, and then the enemy is going to become far away. And so I'm going to need new techniques for that, similar to this. You add effect, ready. Duration. I don't know what duration's actually in. I don't need to think too hard about this. That's fine for now. And then I don't think these ever display, but I'm gonna have them there just in case. And then ready. Good. We definitely want it in effects. And that all looks right. And so now we just so it does you see bar see. And I'm gonna do some canceling on some of these too. And so like for example, so like close and far should cancel each other out. And so I should have a lose effect here. For if you were for to potentially be the thing. I guess it doesn't really matter. Okay, and then the last thing I want to add right now is actually the Haymaker attack. I want to see if that will work. And then we'll have, this won't be all of the unarmed stuff you'll have access to, but this will be like a nice little interior combo to test the, if like the flow for this stuff even works. So subject to change. I just want to get a feel for if it's fun right now. And I just want a medium attack to clear far and close. Just do that. I'm not gonna like have a state for medium because that'll just be your normal distance. This long. You see, this moves you to medium distance, and then I don't know. I'm gonna do something to clean these up later, but basically this is going to. Well, I don't think I can actually use the down effect from the game. Uh, so for now, I'm just gonna. I don't know. I guess I can do stun. Is that technically an effect? Uh, okay, yeah, it is an effect. So we'll do stunned for now, but there I should write my own called down that's got some different stuff. But um, and these will have probabilities later. So like this stuff won't be guaranteed. There will be like a chance based on the monster and the player's stats and strength and stuff for whether or not all of these debuffs proc. But for now this should be fine. Let's see. Um, this actually was going to have a condition as well, because this is going to require. Be ready. Like this, because it's looking awful. I really need to get a linter that works in VSC. I've got to figure out a way to get that working, because I really, really want that. I'll put these on the martial art, and we'll go see. So, oh, okay. Duration. If that works. Okay. And so I'm gonna save just to save. And then so I can still jab, but I now actually have the option of spacing because of the close. I'm gonna do that. Okay, I miss. It's not great. But I get to try again. Nothing's changed. Back with the zombie with your arm raised, controlling space, but do no damage. That's okay. So I now have access to Haymaker, because the enemies are far, and I miss. But I've still got another second, so I should really... Cool, and that works, and then if I check again, he's stunned. And all I've got access to now is jab, because I'm at medium distance again. If I jab, I'll go into close, which will let me rank myself some ranks. This is getting ridiculous. Change all skills, modify all skills. Let's put everything to 5. There, this will work better now. I can space back, and then I can Haymaker and still miss. Man. Cool. Stunned in the process again. And just kind of jab him down potentially as well. Though he seems to be stunned for forever. No, it was not stunned for forever, just for a while. Cool. So that all works. And now I just need to add a pile of those to actually pad out this list. And then again, so on top of some like sequency stuff like this, all of your, because again, the other big thing, I'll have to try and disengage. So the other big thing is while you're in combat in this mod, you just cannot move. So anytime you try and move, it just yells at you for it, and they wail on you. So the only way you can get out of combat is to actually try and disengage. And that's basically a fool's errand anyways, because you're going to hit the disengage button, you're going to get out of combat, and then something's going to hit you, and you're immediately going to be back in combat. So, and I've really got to, I got to make it so that disengaging doesn't deal damage. But that's okay. And so the big thing right now is just I gotta fill out this list with combinations of your melee weapon that you're holding, your kind of unarmed moveset that you always have access to, and then any unique things too. So there's going to be a big focus in this mod on like gadgets, I guess I would say. And so a lot of those are going to provide a technique. And so like I don't know why this is coming to mind, but like the flamethrower, like Boba Fett's or Jango Fett's like wrist mounted flamethrower, something like that would be a great thing to carry in a mod like this, because in, you know, as you're like setting up, you don't want to do that if something's really, really close to you. But if you hit up a combo like you jab, you space back out, now you're stepped far away from the thing, you hit that with the it with the flamethrower, you're gonna toast it. And so adding extra like modules and gadgets and gizmos is going to give you extra utility based on the state of combat. And so some of those will let you, you know, kill things better, but some also may give you more options to get out of bad states. And so I don't have this monster set up to add states to me yet, but that'll be a big thing too. So, you know, I'm trying to step away to get farther from this thing to set up haymakers or whatever. But if it's a particularly aggressive enemy, its attacks might be trying to push it close. It wants to get close. It wants to grab, say, like, once it grabs me, it can do, like, a crazy, like, big attack where it just, like, unhinges its jaw and pours acid on me. Dead Space style, or something like that. And so, you know, I'm gonna want some tools that let me do grab breaks, right? I'm gonna have to have abilities that I can potentially do that might break grab, put me in a bad situation. Like, what if one of the martial arts abilities is going to be to just, like, if you're grappling something, to just drop to the ground with them, or try and bring you both to the ground. And so that might allow you to, like, wrestle back that control to then do something like, I even have it already written, you'll be able to roll up. So as long as there's space somewhere around you, you'll be able to roll and get out, like get up, standing up. And so just little mini cycle combos like that, trying to get yourself in good states and your opponent in bad states is going to be critical. None of these have descriptions. I didn't give them any of the descriptions. I have to do that. Because that's silly that they don't. Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I'm curious why this zombie hasn't grabbed me yet. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Might be because my character already counts as immobile because of the in-combat stuff. It doesn't matter the actual game stuff, like in the actual game setup. You're not going to. It's not going to matter. There won't be zombies. They won't be grabbed, or they won't have the standard grab from the base game. Their grab will instead be more of just an effect of like a state. Cool. So I'm gonna just populate a few more of these, and then my partner is ill, and so I'm going to cut the stream early and go make sure that she's okay and see if there's anything I can do for her. But this has been very productive. I'm very excited that everything just worked, aside from my one silly mistake where I didn't actually update an EOC. So at some point too, I think I'm gonna like add a thing to these where it'll be like you'll be able to do like a run with. Oh no, that wouldn't work. I don't know. I'll figure something out for how to make it so these aren't like duplicated for you versus the opponent and stuff. But anyways, doesn't matter too much. I'm gonna get a few more of these. Can't do any of the movement ones, but to grab one. Something else I would like to do, it's like a big scope creep thing now, is actually make a lot of these all snippets too. So that like instead of every time you haymaker, you always get you rush forward and smash the blank hard. Instead, there'd be like 6 or 7 of those, where it's like you shuffle your feet, or you shuffle, moving left abruptly and crack the X in or the blank in the jaw versus you rush forward and smash the blank hard. That sort of thing to keep there being a bit of variance to like the dialogue flow of combat too, to keep it interesting. But again, it's pretty far out of scope. There's already a pile of these that I need to implement for this to feel cohesive at all. For anyone that is just watching this that didn't see the last one, the current idea basically is, where did I put those? I thought I wrote, yeah, okay, so for melee, on top of that base martial art with like somewhere between 10 and 20 moves based on state that you can do, including like some that are actually unarmed, like the jab and the haymaker and everything, but then other ones that are uh, just constantly available, even if you have a weapon in hand. Stuff like grapple. On top of that, the plan is to well, I mean, I'm going to start with one. I'm going to start with a combat knife, but the goal is to support 5 weapons currently, and those weapons are going to be the combat knife, a baton slash mace, a large sword, a large hammer, and a machete. And I might change that to this to be an axe. I don't actually. Oh, I gotta go to edit mode. Because axes are cool, so maybe it'll be an axe. But so the idea then is like to get to kind of lock in 5 very unique feeling, kind of like almost martial arts in and of themselves. And I have. I don't know who's gonna watch this far into this stream, but I'll just in case anyone that I'm not talking to no one. About a year ago, actually a little over a year, I made this PR for variable moves per weapon and also some reach technique stuff. And so I'm gonna need the reach technique stuff for Rizmod for sure. And so I'm gonna have to refactor that, kind of pull that out. But one of the big things this does is it lets me tie a full suite of martial arts to a category of weapons rather than a weapon themselves. And so I'm going to focus on, to start, having a single knife, a single like kind of baton style weapon, a machete, a big sword of some kind, like a couple of colossal weapons. I think it's going to be a sword and either a hammer or an axe. And that'll be sweet start. But then from there, I can actually I can tie those kind of like almost weapon martial arts to the entire category. And then from there, I can have weapons that then have extra stuff on top of the that base kind of category of attacks. So like a like a large sword could have like a suite of, let's say, like 10 or 15 attacks. But if I was to have, say, like an energy sword of some kind, like a big energy sword as like a late game upgrade, that could have almost all of those attacks, but I could cut a few of the weaker ones, and it could have a few energy focused attacks. So like, for example, maybe on the state of your weapon stuck, like you've stuck it in the enemy, you could have like like an attack called overcharge, where you overheat the weapon, making like the enemy just explode, basically, kind of in response. Yeah, and so just some stuff like that. I didn't end up implementing any of these unless I said I would. The other thing I want is to move all damage to basically a raw value, and then have the maneuvers themselves convert it into a damage type. But that was also a bit of a ways off. Yeah, I should really take off responsibilities and all of that. But this was productive. I might start doing more of these, not just on Wednesdays, but I'm definitely going to be keeping at it on Wednesdays for sure, as I continue to flesh out the mod. Currently, this attack stuff, the state-based select your moves stuff, I'm calling advanced combat. And so the big thing right now is just fleshing out this module so that I can then in the future worry about more wow, lost my train of thought. Flesh out this bit to make sure it's fun, because if this isn't fun, there's no real reason for me to write a whole mod that's kind of inspired by the idea of having these like cinematic, uh, quick and complex fights. Uh, yeah, well, everyone have a good night. And hopefully I'll see people next week, or maybe I'll again do a surprise stream at some point.